Hello again, Real Skinny. It's Julie Mirandino coming at you with how I cut my butternut squash and either cube it or make fries. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, I do have a YouTube channel. You can find it right at shibbychef.com. That's shibbychef.com. So I take my butternut squash, and I'm just going to give you guys a tip when you're going to the store to find a butternut squash. I really like to find one where this top of the squash is much longer because you're going to get a lot more of your squash out of this, because this part has the seeds, right? So we don't want a lot of seeds. I like it a little bit better if it's a little bit more of like a square or a rectangle, but this one was just fine. So the only thing I'm gonna cut is the top and the bottoms. It's not that scary. So I take the very nice sharp knife and I chop off the top, ta-da, and then turn it around and I chop off the bottom. Now, if I am going to make fries, I try to, if I have a larger squash, I really just chop that bottom part off and I just don't even deal with it. Some people, take the seeds out, and they also use this part, which I will today because I'm going to show you how to do cube and fries. So I will use this bottom part for cube because it's the part that's, rounded and it won't look so much like a fry. So that's what I'm going to do today. But basically the next thing I do is I get my peeler. I don't even cut it anymore. I mean, of course I cut it into the shapes that I want it to be, but I just get my peeler, and it's so easy just to peel the skin off. And I was at the store today and I got this butternut squash at Kroger, and it was $3.23 for this one squash, okay? And I got to the produce section and I thought, well, let me look at the already cubed butternut squash and let's see how much that is. Well, it was like $5.99 for the butternut squash already cubed. Now, listen. Yes, a lot of people would say, well, for $2, or $3, like, just go ahead and have it already cubed for me. But what if you buy it, and you don't use it? This little butternut squash, in its case, can sit on your counter for an extended time without it going bad. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. In fact, someone posted today that they had one of their squash that they had harvested from their garden like last year, and they were going to use it today. So squash are very resilient and they last a really long time. So I am not scared at all about doing this process because it's so easy. This is no kind of fancy thing. This is little plasticky vegetable peeler. It's doing a good job, isn't it? So we just peel that off. That's all you got to do. Sometimes when I'm around the edges, I make sure that I, got all the peel off. But maybe just going around the bottom like that, just to make sure we got all that hard peel off of there. So that's all we're doing with that. I'm just going to move this over because I could throw it away, but that would take time. So now what I'm going to do, normally like the size of my fries, I like them about that long. If I have a larger squash and I've cut it off here to just only do fries, I'll just cut it in half. But let's say we're going to do our fries that big. Perfect. I just take that and watch how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it down like this on my chopping block. Now, this is even better because then I just turn it and I chop them down like that. And now they're in the shape of fries. You also could stack them up together and just cut them like that. That's also in the shape of a fry. But sometimes I think it's a little easier just to take it on its top, watching your fingers, of course. And if you'll notice, I'm not looking at the video while I'm chopping because I don't want to chop off my finger. And then I just spread them out on this stone. Now I love, now if you find one that's kind of big, I mean, you can take it back and kind of make them all the same size. But these stones, I don't sell Pampered Chef, but if you have any kind of stone or know someone that sells Pampered Chef, these baking ceramic stones are amazing, especially when you're roasting vegetables. And I'm going to tell you why. It's made of stone and it's ceramic. So when it's hot and you put it in the oven, it's like wicks away the moisture from the vegetable. And I think that's why my fries always look different than when I've made them before in, say, an aluminum pan or a cookie sheet. Because those tend to, the water comes out of the squash and it sits on the pan and it's not absorbed like it is in a stone. So when the water sits on that aluminum pan, it forms a steam, and then you're steaming them and not necessarily roasting them. Now, a lot of people have an air fryer. They pop them right in that air fryer for minutes. It's simply amazing, but I simply bake them in the oven about 20 minutes on 400. About 15 minutes in, I'll go in and check on them and take my spatula and flip them over, and the bottoms will just be so brown and crispy. And I'll know that they're ready when I take a fork, and a fork just goes right through them. Just like if you were, you know, doing a potato, it's the same thing. So 20 to 25 minutes, around 400 degrees. The best thing to do, like I said, is flip them. Now, how do I season them? Now, I season them with either just a spice. These don't have salts or anything in them. It's an ancho chili or a chipotle chili. So depending on what it is, the flavor that you want. I take the top off. These have little, you know, and I just sprinkle the chili all over it. And that's what I usually use to season them, because I'm going to have salt and things in the food that I'm making, and I can always add salt later. And this gives it the great taste. Or you can use some of these salts. This is a company called Beautiful Briny Sea. I got it at Picnic Market in downtown Ackworth, but you can go online and find them. This is called Hot Steve. It is sea salt, cayenne, garlic, orange, smoked paprika, and chipotle. So I would just pop that open. Now this is a salt blend. So before I put the spice on it, I just forgot, because I was like, how am I going to get that to stick? I use my 0-calorie olive oil spray, okay? So I take the 0-calorie olive oil spray, and make sure you buy one with no propellants. Pam spray has propellants in it, like think lighter fluid, okay? So like butane and all those chemicals are in Pam. I think Pam does sell one without propellants in it, so please look for that at the store. We don't need to be spraying, you know, that kind of stuff on our food. So this is just simple extra virgin olive oil in a spray can. You also can use the mistos. I know I was just talking about how this is a Pampered Chef pan, but they sell a mister that you put the oil in, and it's a pump and you can spray. But this is the easiest thing I found, and I just spray them just like that. Then I take my, I'm going to do chipotle tonight, so I'm just going to take my chipotle spice, not a salt blend, and just sprinkle it on top of the butternut squash. It's that simple. 400 degrees for about 20, at least 20 minutes, but I check it at 15 and flip them. And then I'll wait another 5 to 10 and then fork test them to make sure they're ready. So that's how I make butternut squash fries. Now, just a quick tip, because I didn't talk about the cubes, but when I would do the cubes is I will take the squash and cut it into the size cube you want. And you'll notice that you're going to get down to the part with the seeds. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love the seeds. We just take those seeds right out. You can use a spoon, or I even have, if I can find it quickly, which I probably won't be able to be because I'm live doing this, but I have a little scooper deal that I bought. But anyway, I can't find it. So a knife, this is just a cheese knife. You just take those squash seeds right out of there. Hey, you can dry them and go put them in your garden. I actually use compost. And when I went to check my compost one year, I had actual sprouts of, I wasn't sure if it was spaghetti squash or butternut squash, but actually it ended up being butternut squash. So I put it in the garden and there you go. So now that I have these little discs, I just cut them into cubes. And it's so super simple, y'all. And if it was just me and I was just gonna make that for myself, I do have a smaller little stone. So I could just make an individual helping of this for just myself, one person. Most of the time I'm making these for more than one person. So I actually will use 2. If I'm making fries, I actually will use 2 of these stones because I like for them to have that space between them. I mean, and if you wanted to be like super OCD, you could take them and like, you know, stack them and all of that, but I'm not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal to me, but you could do that if you wanted to. But again, so I'm going to take these and I'm going to squirt it with the olive oil spray. And then I'm just going to take this chipotle, or I used chipotle earlier, so I'll use the ancho chili this time. Got the little holes on there and I just sprinkle it with the spice. And like I said, the best part is it's unsalted, ready to go. If I wanted to do salt, I could add a salt blend like these bright, beautiful briny salts. This is Magic Unicorn. This is good. I put this on my broccoli last night. It was delicious. Great for steaks. This is Hot Steve, so it's spicy. This was French Picnic. I like this on my cottage cheese with crackers, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to have this with cream cheese chicken chili, so I don't think lavender and French is the way I want to go with that. But if I wanted to just add salt to the spice and not go buy some fancy spice blend, just, you know, sprinkle the salt right on top as well. It's that simple. So again, about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, check them at 15, flip them over, toss them, and you can even pull it out and just shake it and they just toss themselves, and then just continue to bake them until they're fork ready. The cubes might not take as much time, so check on those, but around 400 degrees with these stone pans, I think, is the key to making these in the oven. Now, I know when you air fry them, it's a lot different. I don't have an air fryer, so I'll have to get somebody to make an air fryer video for us, but I don't have an air fryer, but I hear they're amazing, and they'll probably cook it in like 2.2 seconds, and they'll be crisp like fries. But I love the way they taste when they come out. I'm going to take these cubes and serve my chili over them, which I'm excited about. And then these I'll make with like hamburgers and have French fries. So anyway, I'm going to put these in the fridge when we're done, actually, in a container. I'll make those tomorrow, but this is for tonight. All right, see y'all later. Enjoy. Don't be scared about the butternut squash now. It's not going to hurt you.